And that's come from years of working together. And I was like, okay, if you really feel like that, let's do it. So we did. We began doing more and more and more of these. And I have grown to love the show. It's one of my favorite things we do. Because I love the relationship between Brian Forbes, who's desperately trying to do something legitimate. And you know, I think for a lot of artists, that craving of legitimacy, of I want to be accepted and do something that's good and you know, be lauded by my peers. You know, most artists have that in some capacity once they get involved in their disciplines or their craft, that they want their peers to recognize them. Hence the proliferation of award shows. So Brian Forbes is deadly serious, and then you have this force of nature, which is Sir Reginald Beauharnois, who's just out of his mind, or eccentric, as they say in England. And I think the combination of that is really wonderful. And it's just a very simple idea that relies purely on the writing and the performing and the relationship between these characters.
And David, how did you find your audience? Or better yet, how did they find you?
We call it our web series that could. You know, the little engine that gets over the hill, because for years we would just do them because we wanted to, and we never had any sort of game plan or sort of, we must market this and put it out there and figure out how we're doing this. It was really just, we were doing it. And we've never, ever gotten a bad review. We've gotten tons of great press. Everybody seems to love the show. And we've only gotten positive feedback on it. You know, and a few years in on doing the show, we were like, oh, you know, we probably should look at this. You know, another positive review would pop up. And that's a neat thing about the Internet. In a lot of traditional media, you know, once you have an opening, you know, you air the show and then it's over, and maybe it comes out again in rerun, but it's looked on as a sort of second tier because it's already been out. Whereas with the Internet, one of the things we've discovered is there are waves of discovery. We had this very recently where we don't quite know why, but on YouTube our views peaked into the hundreds of thousands out of nowhere. Just suddenly we were getting like hundreds of thousands of views in a week. And it just sort of had this little peak, you know, and it was like, well, that's interesting. We don't quite know why, but somebody somewhere might have discovered it, you know, put it on Facebook, and it just spread virally or something. We don't quite know what that is, although we're trying to figure it out.
But isn't that one of the coolest things about being involved in new media, that your show has literally forever to find an audience, and there's not one guy in the ivory tower saying, no, this will not be made?
That is phenomenal. Never in history has there been a more democratic platform